everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I would like to show you how you can make a flower wreath or anything that has a shape of wreath by using a very simple tool and making your own template. So this is the card I've just quickly made, and I didn't embellish my, ooh, this is going very fast, sorry for the zoom. And I didn't embellish it too much, but I just wanted to show you how all the flowers here are just perfectly aligned, and also my leaves. You're going to be able to do this in a very short amount of time with not fussing too much, because you could never have this perfect alignment between all the flowers and the leaves if you were doing this by hand. So what you will need for this is a stamping tool, and I'm going to show you the one I have chosen so far, because I think that this one is the most interesting because it's from Holt. It's the Ranger one. If you want to have and see reviews on this product, I'm sure you'll be able to find a lot of these on YouTube. This is not the subject of this video, but I decided to use this one because it's way bigger, and if you need to go off your stamping tool here on the right, you can do that. The only thing I have added here is a piece of foam, because I think stamping on foam is nicer. You have a better image. And it comes with these two little magnets that I have put some washi tape. It's a fabric washi tape. I've put that all around my pieces of magnets because they're very strong, and in case they would touch each other too quickly, they might break apart. So you will see everybody protecting, and also it's easier to grab. And I only have two, and it's really, for me, it's enough. And now for the template, and I'm going to show you how I did that. I need to separate these two. So if you have the Misty, it will work as well. There's no problem with that. And this is the template I have made myself. So these are available. You can buy these, but honestly, it's very expensive. I think if you don't have dies, you will obviously need to buy one. But if you do have dies, and if you have a square die, you're going to be able to make your own. So I think it's a great tip that I wanted to share with you. And you can do these templates in every size you wish, as long as it's a square shape in the beginning. Or maybe if you had a star, but it needs to be really square. So I preferred using a square. And this is a little under 4 inches, but you can have, if you have bigger dies, you can do this in a bigger size. And the bigger the wreath will be. That's the only thing, because I've used the same piece of paper inside here. And I've done like a star shape to make my template, and you'll understand why in a second, because we're going to tilt our paper around to make this perfect wreath. So again, you can make it much smaller if you wish. Now I'm going to grab my Big Shot. Oops. And this is a very old one, and it's broken on one side, but it's okay. And I'm going to show you how I did that. So what I used here is just a scrap piece of paper. I took my shape here, my square shape. I more or less centered it on my paper. I'm going to put my top plate on top. I'm going to run it through. And the cracks are just fine. Normally you have to tilt it a little bit because you've got this bumpy noise, but that's fine. So just once. So now you're left with a square. This piece, I'm not really going to use it, but you could use it obviously. And now what you're going to do, you're going to keep this one here, but you're going to put your die in the other direction. And the more accurate you are, the better it will be. Because these parts here, your edges, should be at the same distance. Don't put it this way, it's not going to work. Okay, so you need to have the same space here, 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 and here. And obviously you could use a ruler. That would be better to make sure that you've got also the same space there and everywhere. It's got to be really even. The better it will be, the best result you will end up. I'm just eyeballing it right now, or just maybe taking a ruler, seeing how much I've got left here and there. My ruler is really big. So let's see, I've got about a little less than an inch here. And I'm going to put it this way. It's going to be better. A little under here. So I think I'm going to call it good. But take your time and make sure it's fine. You've got the same distance again. Here, 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 everywhere. Okay? And then you're going to cut it another time. So I'm going to take my plate. And I've had this Cricut for this Big Shot for ages. I think it's 9 to 10 years, I'm not sure. I didn't hear any cracks. I'm going to do it the other way. It's probably enough. All right. I'm going to take this away. And I'm going to take these pieces off. I don't need these pieces any longer. All right, let me put this apart. No need the Big Shot any longer. I'm going to take my stamping tool again. And I'm going to put this here on my foam. And I'm going to use my 2 magnets here to hold it in place. Okay? And I've used some cardboard here, or not cardboard, but a cardstock paper to make it a little thicker. It's going to be easier. And as I said before, you will need to cut pieces of cardboard we're going to stamp on the exact same size that you used your die to cut this piece, okay? Because that's going to go inside here. So it's really going to be useful. If you're using a smaller die, you use the same die to cut your piece of paper that's going to go inside. All right, so you can start in any directions. You can start this way if you wish. And because it's a little thick, it's going in there very, very well. And now you can use any kind of stamps. And I'm going to use this one here, and I'm going to go a little closer now. So I'm going to use this stamp. It's just one flower. But for my example here, I just position 3 flowers at a time. And you'll understand in a second. Once you have put your piece of paper, so again, you can start in any position, you are going to position here your stamp. So if you put it up there, very close to the edge, your wreath is going to be very big. If the more you put it towards the center, the more your wreath is going to be small. So keep that in mind. The other thing is that, I still have some ink on my stamp. You need to check something. For example, here, I'm putting my stamp down, and then I decide that I want it here because I want to have a big wreath. I'm going to close my stamping tool and press it down. There you go. And before stamping, I'm going to check that it's going to work in the other direction. So I'm going to flip this to this point here. You can go that way, it doesn't matter, but don't skip any part. Just go from here to here, as in my example. I'm aligning everything really well, and now I'm going to see. And now you might see it. I'm going to come really close, that my stamp is a little bit off. So my wreath is not going to be perfect if I want it to be perfectly inside my paper. So what I'm going to do now is move it a little bit here, inside, press it. I'm going to tilt it back just from one slot. And normally here I shouldn't have any problem. If it fits both directions here, you're good to go. Okay, so now what you can do, and I'm going to ink it up. I'm using Distress ink here, but you can use any kind of ink. I'm going to start in inking up my paper. Pressing down good. I'm going to tilt from one slit here, or slot. Ink it up again. and press down. And they're a little bit overlapping, but that's fine. That's the way I want it. And again, I'm moving only in one direction, always the same direction from the other spot here. No more. One at a time. And that's how it's going to work. Press down well. Move it up. Cautious to what I'm doing. And you know what? If you miss a spot, you can always come back. The last one you did, ink it up again and come back on top of it, and that's perfect. Okay, and look at this. How do you think it is? Now what I can do, because there's only a flower here, I want to have some greenery, so I'm going to put some leaves, and I've got some little leaf here, so I'm going to decide which one I'm going to use. Let me see. And I know already that some of them sometimes will be off my paper, but that's totally fine. And maybe a smaller one here in the inside. Which one am I going to use? And I can put several. You're going to see that. Okay, and I think I like it this way. Again, I'm going to close my window and I'm going to change color. I'm going to use green here for my leaves, pressing down well, opening, stamping, inking, and pressing down. And there you go. That's the first stamping I have done. Let me put it this way. Whoops. All right. And again, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to keep on turning one step at a time. And I'm only doing this always in the same direction. Inking my stamps. And I'm stamping 3 stamps at a time. You could put more if you want to. And there you go. And this is how you're going to build your wreath. This is going to be absolutely great for Christmas, because we like wreath for Christmas. But you don't have to do wreath only for Christmas. You can do them all the time. Look at that. And you can use a lot of stamps in this example. And you could use colors, different shade of greens if you wanted to. Okay, I'm done. My card is done. Now I just need to put this maybe with another color around it and put it on the card. I'm just using the back of the card I just made, or make it even smaller. And if you want to, you think it's a little empty here on the white spots, well, just use another stamp with a bold design and use another color of leaves, and it will be absolutely beautiful. But this is the perfect way to make a perfect wreath without having to buy anything. If you have square dies, and you should have square dies, you know, squares are very useful to cut your backgrounds if you want to. You will use them a lot and a lot. I use squares very often in my cards, and this is the way you can do it and make your own template. And again, you could make a smaller one if you just want a little 2-inch or 3-inch square. You can do that the exact same way. And what I've done here is just I used some, what was it called? Some glossy accents on some of the flowers here to make it shine and pop out a little bit. And what I've done here, but I've cut it out by hand, which I could do maybe here, but it would probably cut my leaves. But I'm just going to show you how I did that. I just freehand cut around my flowers there to give it this shape. It's not a perfect circle, and I've just done this. Let's give it a try to see how it goes. And I'm not doing any fussy cutting here. I'm doing something really quick and easy. And when you do this kind of cutting, mind the fact that I'm not turning my scissors, only my paper is moving. It's much easier when you do this. It's your paper that is moving here and there, not my scissors. I'm not completely finished, but look at that. Isn't this cute? You've got both solutions. You leave it as it was before. Of course, I could come back and make it nicer, but it's just to give you an idea. Or you could come and completely leave these leaves out and only come and cut out around here your flowers. It's a little bit what I've done here. Okay, there were some leaves coming out of my paper. I just didn't care about it, and I just went around my flowers in this kind of shape. No dies needed for this piece. You could also cut the inside of it. That would make a real wreath. But look at this. So isn't it fancy, lovely, and quick to do, and cheap? You did your own template, and you can make it in different colors. So there you go. I hope you like this video. Please give me some thumbs up because it really helps my channel. Also subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and click the bell button to get all the notifications every time I post another video. And share on social media, it helps me as well. Thank you very much. Take care and happy crafting. Bye-bye.